Hi, this video is to show you one technique for finishing the last row in hardwood flooring. Here's an example where the last row, all I need is a 1/2 inch. My boards are 2 1/4. Now, the conventional way of doing this would be to rip this board down to a 1/2 inch and use that to fill in that gap. The gap is just a little bit bigger than what can be covered with the molding that I'm designed to use. So it's almost always the case that the last board is not an exact fit, so you have to rip it. This just happens to be a shame because once you rip the board, you can't use that other piece for anything very much. So in this case, I have a little extra time, so I decided to see if I could use some of my older wood scraps. So for example, here's something that was left over when I had to rip a board. Now this one, you see, I can't use this because it's the male side of the board, it's not the female side of the board. So my first idea was, okay, what if I take my router and put a groove in here? Then I'll be able to use it. So I got my router out, and then I realized, well, that should work, but this has a rough cut edge that I did on my table saw, which, because it's in a closet, nobody's going to care. But I also saw that this scrap does have the micro bevel on the other edge. If I actually put the router on the bump, the male side, and actually put the channel in there, then you turn it around and you actually get a finished good, as good as a new piece. So let me show you what I did. Like I said, I had a little extra time. This is not really worth it financially because at $4 a square foot, in this room, I have basically about $10 that I could save, or $15 I could save. But the big thing is that I can use the wood up. I might not have to buy another box in order to finish the job. Another box of wood costs $80. Now, here's what I did with my router. I basically turned it upside down. You could use this on a router table, but I don't have a router table. But I did have this stuff, these clamps I've been using. So I put it upside down, put it in the clamp. It's got a little airflow on the bottom. I pushed it up against the compressor because the compressor's not moving, it's very heavy. And now I can push against this and it doesn't really move anywhere. Okay, then what I can do is I can set the height of, well, first I got a 1/4 inch bit, just because the channel is a 1/4 inch. I happened to luck out that it's a standard size. Then you can adjust the fence and the depth on this cutter so that it is slightly deeper than the existing channel, so that when you route a new channel, it's going to be deep enough. And it's only exactly the size of the previous one, a 1/4 inch. So it should still produce a tight fit as long as you get that channel in the right place. So the idea is to take the piece that you want to route and to put the finish face up against the fence, just like you did with the test piece. Then when you route it, you'll eventually route that down. You can take away the entire tongue and you can put the groove in it. Now, I'm not going to actually do that here because I only have one hand, but here's an example of one that I did. It's a similar piece. You can see this is not perfect work. It doesn't have to be perfect because this is not going to show the piece that you're making use of is the existing micro bevel. As long as this groove, you'd like the groove possibly to be even slightly larger than the original one, so you wouldn't have to worry about the placement. But according to the way that I set it up on the router, it should be exactly the same as the original piece. Now, this piece you can fit it in the groove, pull it tight. This is going to be glued because you're not going to be able to nail this. So you can just set this up with some glue and then put some wedges in until the glue dries. And then this should be good to go. And that way you can use up some of those old wood scraps. Okay? Thanks, bye.